Welcome to Oddball. I'm Charlotte Wilder. That's Amin Elhassan. We have a great show for you today. Amin, what have we got going on?
Well, Charlotte, we have Summer League content. That's the gift that keeps on giving. And while I was at Summer League, I spoke to a lot of interesting people. One of them was the one and only Ethan Strauss. You know him from his time at ESPN, The Athletic, and now from his very critically acclaimed Substack, House of Strauss. And so I asked him to participate in the Oddball questionnaire, but I asked him about something at the end of our conversation I thought we should discuss. Okay. And yes, it involves Michael Jordan. Take a listen. We're here at Summer League. I'm joined now by agent provocateur Ethan Strauss. The House of Strauss is the name of the Substack. It is, how can I say this while being delicate? It is well followed by the right people. Is that accurate?
Yeah. It's subscribed. I'm trying to find the right word for it. It's an industry rag, is what you're trying to say.
Yes.
People in the industry tend to read it. It's got a little bit more punch behind the scenes than maybe above it. But that might be changing. We might get more popular. We'll see.
Have you ever seen, because obviously you see who's subscribing. Have you ever seen someone's name and be like, holy shit, that person reads me?
Yes. I don't want to even give that away. So in theory, I don't see any of these emails. Your privacy is protected. I don't see any of it. But yes, I literally do see all of it, and I am consistently surprised. But the worst part about it, Amin, I can't brag about it. I can't do it. I can't
I'm asking you right now, and you can't say it. So you just have to kind of like allude to people in power and positions of influence, right?
Yes. Yeah. I would say there are commissioners. There are people who run TV shows. Yeah. There are hosts of TV shows. Some of them actually appear on my podcast, so that can be, I can say Colin Cowherd subscribes. He's on the podcast every now and again.
So let me ask you this, and I don't want you to be offended. Okay. Why do you think people are gravitating to your work in a way that earlier in your career they didn't?
Well, I think when people see that there's a willingness to say something other people aren't saying, whether it's just an open secret or it's how things actually operate behind the scenes of the industry, that just gives you something other people don't have. And I think we all try to play nice with each other in this business. Well, some of us do. You and I, maybe not so much, but people want to get along. It's a big social event here. I think sometimes because of that, people who do a really good job do it within certain confines. And you and I, bit of a bridge burner, perhaps. But there's a value. I wouldn't
say I burn bridges.
I don't burn it for no reason. I do it for the people.
The bridges are open. The bridges are fine, ladies and gentlemen. The bridges are fine. What would you say is the most controversial thing you've either written or said that you didn't think was that controversial when you said it?
Oh my God. It was probably when I was riffing on the Bill Simmons podcast, just riffing. I didn't come waiting to make this case. And we're talking about how the NBA didn't really help the WNBA in terms of branding at the beginning. And I just said, maybe they should share the same team names as you see in college basketball. I would have bolstered my case by saying that in European soccer, Barcelona for the men and women share the same team. And apparently that just was very controversial. And there were people who were quite angry about it. So I never would have expected that. But then there are other people who went, come on, bro, you had to expect that. You had to expect that. I didn't, legitimately.
I can vouch he doesn't expect anything.
No, I don't.
He's a little bit of an idiot savant.
I'm a babe in the woods, I'm just trying to be honest out here.
All right, so one of the things we're doing at Summer League, we're trying to find the biggest oddball. So we got a questionnaire here.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you some of these questions, all right? Question number 1, when you put on your socks and shoes, do you go 2 socks and then 2 shoes, or do you go sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
Oh, yeah, I go socks and then shoes.
Which foot do you start with?
Right foot, right hand dominant.
All right. What was your most recent encounter with a ghost or alien?
A ghost or an alien?
Yes.
I don't think I've had an encounter with either. I've never felt the presence of the supernatural.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't. I can't make it up.
Do you believe in ghosts or aliens?
I don't disbelieve in them. It's something I talk about with my son a lot. Do we believe in aliens? I think I'm going to go yes. If the universe is just ever expansive, there's got to be an alien out there. Ghosts, I'm less sold on ghosts, but I want to believe.
I just feel like ghosts can't exist because like how many people have died? Like there'd be ghosts everywhere. It must be so crowded for ghosts.
If they do exist, they can't do anything.
Like the whole thing is like, oh, you know, ghosts, because they have unfinished business. Only ghosts are people who have unfinished business. Those are the ones that hang around. Like if you live a fulfilled life, you don't become a ghost. Yeah. So, all right, how many slaves died?
I mean,
like in the middle passage, right?
Like, they don't get the unfinished business. That's a lot of unfinished business. No, there'd be ghosts everywhere if there were ghosts. It doesn't make sense.
If you could only communicate using movie quotes, which movie would you choose?
Oh, you know the answer to this one.
No, I don't.
I bet you do.
I know.
Come on, man. It's Jurassic Park. So many quotables.
Ethan once posited that the national anthem should be the theme of Jurassic Park. Like before every NBA game, they should just play dun 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 dun.
So it just lifts your spirits right there.
That's why it's
Doesn't it sound like a national anthem? If I told you that's Bulgaria's national anthem.
Like you have a bunch of soccer players with their arms around each other and the cameraman panning left to right.
And really more quotables than almost any movie from the 90s. Probably the most. Life will find a way.
Finds a way.
Finds a way.
Yeah.
It finds a way.
All right. What would be your sitcom catchphrase if you're on a sitcom? Bonus points if you look right down the barrel of that camera and deliver it.
You spent so much time worrying about whether you could, you didn't worry about whether you should. It's a very heady sitcom. Some people know what I'm referencing. It's Jurassic Park,
it's Jurassic Park.
Okay, you know.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Look, I don't know. What's a good sitcom phrase?
I don't know. I'm saying like you got to come up with your own. Like this is your sitcom. What would your catchphrase be?
Well, I'll be darned.
I would pay money to see you say that, like with your wife. She brings out something like, this bill is 3 months past due.
Well, I'll be darned.
Laugh track. All right. If you could have any song play every time you enter a room, what song would it be?
Oh man, I like that Timmy Trumpet song. But now that closer's not good anymore. No. So I wonder if there's some.
He got Metsified.
You did get Metsified, but that's a great entrance song right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Summer League. We could go NBA and NBC theme song. That's pretty good right there.
Rock, yeah,
that's a good one. But the answer, if we're thinking about closers for a long time, I think I got to go with Hell's Bells. I think that's an entrance song.
What's that?
It just starts with the bells. Everybody goes crazy.
Oh,
the boom,
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-na. Yeah.
All right. Last question. Oh, this one was written for Ethan.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on the French?
On the French?
Yes.
I think this is going to be a crazy take. I don't think their food gets enough respect.
Really?
Everybody talks up how it's not that good. Why do we make a big deal out of it?
Do people say that?
I think right now among millennials, they go, I like Italian food better.
Everybody likes Italian food. There's nobody who doesn't like Italian food.
But I think the complexity of the French food and how they had the building blocks, they made these sauces that people are now familiar with. They had to create the sauces.
Béarnaise and all that stuff.
All of this. Mayonnaise, hollandaise, all the A's, folks.
I'm going to tell you something.
Bordelaise.
The secret to every French dish, shit ton of butter.
Oh, yeah.
They just add like mountains of butter. Butter makes everything taste better.
It works. White wine as well. Definitely a help. Or wine in general. I think the French, it's going the other way. It's almost like the Michael Jordan is actually underrated. French food, actually underrated.
Okay, so I did not talk to you about this, but our buddy Tom Haberstroh did this exhaustive research about Michael Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year award-winning season and found massive fraudulence in his home stats versus the road stats. What was your opinion? Did you write about that at all?
I did.
Did you react?
I did write about it, and my take on it is this. Tom is correct that the stats had fraudulence.
Yes.
What's so crazy is that Michael Jordan still deserved that award. He still was the best defensive player on the third-ranked defense. And if you look at that Bulls roster, they didn't have any great bigs. Scottie Scottie Pippen was the 7th man rookie.
Right.
That was Mike. You look at those highlights, he's all over the place. He's a terror. And that's just this crazy detail, and it speaks to the complexity of history, that there was fraudulence, but even if you look at the guy's away stats, where he's not getting the hometown boost, very impressive.
They were impressive. They weren't otherworldly like his home stats.
Yeah, but based on the away stats, he would have averaged the most blocks on the team as the shooting guard.
Isn't this like the Barry Bonds thing? It's like
I think
Barry
so.
Bonds,
similar.
Without PEDs, is still the greatest player ever.
Here's my response rhetorically to the Tom article, and I love the article, by the way. I learned a lot from it. I enjoyed it. And I will also, as a caveat, say I was not sentient during that season. But when people are expressing anger over the Michael Jordan season, they do not say something else, which is who deserved to win. I think that's a tell.
Well, it's funny.
It's Mike.
I think people are angry. On the other end, they're angry. How dare Tom reveal this? It's like there's actual reaction from people that it should remain a secret, or the number of people who just go on ad hominem attacks on LeBron. I'm like, wait, we're not talking about LeBron. We're talking about something that happened.
No, it becomes you're taking shots at the myth. I understand it. I am not with those people.
Yeah.
I want the truth, but I understand the idea of people saying this myth is almost worth protecting because it was real. Like Michael Jordan was so good in reality that it was mythical, and they don't like it seen torn asunder in this way, especially when Tom is technically correct but spiritually wrong. He's spiritually wrong because Michael Jordan deserved that DPOY. Best defensive player, 3rd-ranked defense. Who was it going to be? Was it going to be the Jazz in the 2nd rank? They had Mark Eaton. He was in foul trouble all the time. That wasn't a particularly great season for him. He won the following season, and John Stockton was just a killer on steals, so they divide up the credit. The other top-ranked team was the Detroit Pistons, and the credit was very evenly divided. Rodman was not playing as much as he would play later on when he won it. So then you go to the 3rd team, it's the guy averaging over 35 points a game, Amin, on 53% shooting, and he's the best defensive player on the team. Here's the issue with Tom. Again, love the article, love it, but maybe it's a matter of focus. Perhaps we should focus more on how the best offensive player in the NBA for a season was also the best defensive player in the NBA, as opposed to calling him a fraud. That's all I'm saying.
I'm calling him a fraud. This is oddball.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we talked about Michael Jordan's fraudulent DPOY. So Charlotte, what did you think of Ethan's argument at the end there?
You know, I feel like he actually put into words what I have struggled to explain about why. Yes, I thought Tom's work was amazing, and it brought up a whole host of, did Jordan deserve that? Is that DPOY of the year what people hang their hats on as the argument for him being better than LeBron? I think what Ethan was saying about how his stats were still very good on the road, and if not Michael Jordan, who would you have picked for Defensive Player of the Year? And if there isn't an obvious answer, then those statistics become it's not like that becomes a thing that breaks that argument in totality. I don't know how at a certain point we are supposed to measure greatness. I know that this is the whole point of our business and what we do, but LeBron's unbelievably long career and prolific career, and the guy who saves everybody from every disaster basketball wise, and then Michael Jordan, 6 championships. How do you compare those at a certain point?
Oh, I think ultimately, this has been my argument for the better part of a decade, is you can't compare. There's no such thing as the best player of all time. Everybody's different. It depends on your age. I can't even tell you who the best player of this era is, to be honest with you.
Right.
LeBron's great, but man, so is Steph Curry, so is Kevin Durant. And I think, the marketing machine is operating on everybody's behalf, and some marketing machines are better than others. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like, man, that's not a good thing to have that on your resume, to have confirmed fraudulence on your resume, even if you were great, in the same way that Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player of all time. And we can all agree that Barry Bonds being on the juice, on the stuff, the clear, the cream, whatever you want to call it, that's a stain on his legacy. Does it mean he's not that good? Does that mean Babe Ruth is better? No. But it also doesn't mean just brush it aside, doesn't matter, because I think that stuff does matter.
Yeah, it complicates the conversation. It makes it a little bit like you didn't need this for your greatness, but it was there. And I think MJ will never address this. I would love to hear what he had to say about it, but we know that's not going to happen. Okay, amazing stuff. Thank you for holding down the fort at Summer League when I had COVID. And we will be back in a quick second with off-court Olympic Games for the last time because they're over. Welcome back to Oddball. I mean, we didn't get to talk about players outside of Team USA in our Tuesday episode, so I just really want to quickly talk about Wemby and Jokic here because Victor Wembanyama scored 26 points in the gold medal game, and we saw him very emotional and crying after the game, and he had a message to the basketball world. He said, "I'm learning, and I'm worried for the opponents in a couple of years." A reporter said, "In FIBA or the NBA?" Wemby said, "Everywhere." Now, I do want to say I made the case a couple weeks ago that trying is cool. I also think caring is cool. And I think that we've seen Victor Wembanyama care an awful lot about basketball between the All-Star game and now losing a gold medal game, which most people assumed France would lose.
Yeah, I mean, or not just lose, but not look competitive in, right? I think that's the thing. And so to watch him after the game weeping like that, it did two things. One, it reminded me, he's like 19, 20 years old. He's still a kid, man. Yeah. Like these things hurt when you're younger a lot more. It reminded me of Luka Doncic playing in Eurobasket as an 18-year-old. And it was the semifinal or the final, I can't remember, but he rolls his ankle pretty bad and he has to sit out the rest of the game. And he starts crying because in his mind, this is the end of the world. Like we're going to lose this game because I can't play because I got hurt, whatever. And on the other hand, there is the feeling that this is like the villain origin story, right? Like that anger over something that everyone else on his team seemed like, yeah, we gave it our best, but what are you going to do? It's Team USA. And for him, it's like, no, I wanted to win. I thought we were going to win this game. And so I hope he doesn't lose that, right? That I don't want to call it childlike innocence, but that childlike belief of why not us, and not be afraid of exhibiting emotion and vulnerability in that moment of like, I really wanted this. It's not unlike Klay Thompson being upset about not being named to the top 75 players. Yeah. So many people are like so cool, too cool to admit it. Like, he's like, no, man, I wanted this. And
or Jaylen Brown wanting to be on Team USA.
I think that's caring is cool, and showing that you care is cool. And I'm hoping that's the thing that's going to save All-Star Weekend one day, is that we're going to get a bunch of players who aren't afraid to say, no, I care. I care about this being looked at as one of the best, and not like, remember when this thing used to be fun? Yeah.
I will say, too, I am a little nervous about 2028. If we don't have LeBron, Steph, KD, who knows? They're superhuman. They could still be there. But like, if the two Frenchmen from the draft, Zachary Risacher, Alexandre Sarr, if they pan out and you got Wemby, it's starting to look like, I don't know.
Charlotte, if one of them pans out.
Yeah, they don't seriously. Even need both if there's someone who can, if someone can pass Victor Wembanyama the ball, then we might be screwed. Yeah. But anyway, Nikola Jokic was the first player to lead the Olympics in points, rebounds, and assists ever. He's responsible for Team USA's greatest test in the Olympics. Do you think, is this guy the greatest player alive? It's hard when you have LeBron and Steph. Where is Jokic fitting in here right now?
Those guys show that they are still amazing and incredible. But I think one of the things that we can say is, I don't know if they're amazing, incredible over 82 games. Not because they're not good enough, but because, they're advanced age. Jokic is in his prime physically, even though it doesn't look like it. So, and he's shown, hey, I don't get hurt, and I play almost every game, and I play a lot of minutes, and I do this. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't mean he's the best player ever, but right now, it's hard to name someone who's better.
He also was back with his horses a day after winning a bronze medal. So shout out to the man for knowing what he really cares about. Time for off-court Olympics. The last time we're going to do this because it is over. I'm very sad. Off-court Olympics is sponsored by Liquid IV. If hydrating were an Olympic sport, you would win the gold. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Oddball at checkout. Now, you and I are going to award gold, silver, and bronze medals to Olympians for their contributions off of their respective playing surfaces. So we're going to DQ LeBron real quick. There's a video of him shutting down a kid for an autograph in France before walking into a club and doing like sort of a Steph shimmy into the club. Yeah. He just, good effort, but he doesn't make the podium.
Look, I know it looks bad and you got DQ'd. I'm going to protest this like the USA Gymnastics are putting in my protest because guess what, man? First of all, these kids in France and Paris in particular, Europe in general, but Paris in particular, they're very aggressive. Second of all, it's like a little bit of an Oliver Twist thing going on with the Artful Dodger. They're running plays. They're trying to distract you while they pickpocket you. Pickpocketing is terrible in Europe. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm with you, LeBron. He saw it coming from a mile away. Said, get out of here. And then I'm going to do my dance before I go in the club. That's Captain America. I support you. I stand with you in your DQ.
Okay. All right. Well, then who do we start with for bronze?
Right. We start with the bronze, and it goes to Noah Lyles.
Wow. No, oh, my God.
No, the bronze goes to, and I'm going to protest this one, too. Tom Cruise for his cameo at the Olympics closing ceremony.
Why are you protesting this?
Because it should have been higher. There's a platinum medal? Is there a platinum medal for Mr. Tom Cruise? This man could do no wrong. I can't wait for the next edition of Mission Impossible. Dead Reckoning was one of my favorite movies that I watched all of last year. Charlotte, does this mean the president has initiated Ghost Protocol?
I mean, I don't even really know what that means because I've seen the first Mission Impossible, but here's the thing. I was watching it and I was like, why is this called Mission Impossible? Like, I'm getting the sense that the mission is going to be possible, that he's going to do the mission. I did, however, watch a lot of behind the scenes stuff of filming Dead Reckoning, of like how they did all the stunts. So I should probably just watch the movie.
Yes, you should. You should absolutely watch it. Also, it is Mission Impossible for anyone other than Ethan Hunt. Is that Tom Cruise's name? Yeah, Ethan Hunt. Yeah,
that's like the same.
To accept it.
Ethan Hunt is the same name as Tom Cruise, like spiritually. So I respect it. Okay, the silver medal goes to Jokic for being the living embodiment of work hard, play hard. Serbia took home the bronze medal, as we said, after they beat Germany 93-83. This is the bus. This is the Serbian bus after the game. And it reminds me of the Serbian basketball games where like the whole arena's on fire as they're playing basketball. This has that same energy.
It has the same energy as this Serbian liquor called Rakia. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I've had it before, and it makes you do things like this.
Yeah, he also, I just can't state enough how quickly this man gets back to the things that he loves. I know that I said he was at the racetrack, but like, here's a video of Jokic at the racetrack. This man, he didn't even like stop at home for a day and hang out. He's already back with his horses. I feel like we've had this what?
Charlotte, he looks like he's wearing the same gear he wore for the game, like the blue shorts and a white undershirt, like just like the Under Armour or whatever you want to call it, the dry fit shirt underneath. It's crazy. It's like he stepped off the plane from the Olympics and take me straight to the horse track.
I wish I loved something as much as Jokic loves horses.
Amen. Also, Tyler, don't take it personally. All right.
An event. I love Tyler. An event. Maybe sailing, but I can't do it because it's so expensive.
All right. The gold goes to gold medalist Devin Booker.
Oh.
After beating France, Booker went to the club along with everybody else, but he left at 6 a.m. And Charlotte, he called an Uber, right?
No, I don't think so. What did he do?
He got on a bicycle, the responsible thing, and he biked home. And you know what? The gold goes to the entirety of Team USA because they all had a great night at the club that night. And then here they are at the airport the next day. Ladies and gentlemen, they're just like us.
Oh my God. They look awful.
Wearing sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real. I should say they're more like, I don't get hangovers, as everyone famously knows, because the science is I don't catch COVID and I don't get hangovers, which I guess separates me from a lot of Olympians because some of them get COVID.
Well, oh my God. Some of them look pretty rough. I also really respect Devin Booker biking home. Like there's no security. It's a very normal guy move. And I just really like that when you see people this famous kind of, also to bike with a gold medal around your neck is insane.
It's insane. It makes me wonder, Charlotte, does this mean the president invoked Ghost Protocol?
I still don't know what that means, but
Come
Oddballers, we have to thank you for watching, for a great season at Great Olympics. We're taking a break until September. We're going to miss you dearly.
I'm so tired.
I know.
I'm so exhausted, Charlotte. I feel like how Michael Jordan must feel hearing me call his DPOY fraudulent. He must be exhausted of me hearing that.
There we go, because it's not. All right. See you guys in September.